night, but it's Thursday live. Just hanging out over here at the training pad. I got a dinner to go to tonight, so I'm gonna go out with Green Witch, and I don't know who else is gonna be there, but we're gonna go out to dinner tonight, hang out, have a good time, you know, be responsible. We got this place we go to. We like to go here in Springfield, so we're gonna go out there and eat and hang out. So it's been a crazy week, I will tell you that. Like, so if you didn't know this, like I find out new stuff all the time, but if you didn't know this, that say you want to get your CDL and you're going to go to a driving school, each state's different on how many times you can actually test out. So if you're at a state that's like, hey, you can only test 3 times, and then once you test 3 times for your CDL, you have to wait a certain amount of time. And you're like, man, I'm going to go there, I'm going to test out here, I'm going to, you know, give it my all. And then you test out 2 times, and you can only test out 1 more time in that state, and you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to go somewhere else. It might not be the best idea. And the reason I tell you that is because I had this happen this week. I had a student, great guy. There were some issues that happened with the Qualcomm. So we had, anyways, what was found out is that he went to another school, which is fine. He told his recruiter, hey, I went to this other school. That's fine. It's okay that you try to go to another school. Well, what is not good is that he tested at another school. So with Prime, it's hey, if you took the test already, then you need to just go ahead and stay at that school and finish it out, because we're not going to hire you. And unfortunately, he got sent home because he took the test multiple times over there, and he decided, hey, I'm going to come here and take the test. And great guy. I'm sure that sooner or later he's going to get his CDL. Like I know that's going to be a fact. He's going to get his CDL. So after he gets a CDL, he can come back to Prime, and that's what he said he was going to do, is get a CDL and then wait the time that he has to wait, and then come over here to Prime and get to moving this freight. So I mean, it's not over. The story's not over, but it's kind of like, I didn't know if you tested at another school, come here, you need to tell your recruiter before you even come here that, hey, I took my test in another state. Because unfortunately, we weren't able to continue training with him because he tested in another state. And I kind of see why. Like, it's kind of about the integrity of our whole program. If you couldn't pass somewhere else and you took the test, say you went to different places and tried to take the test and you failed, and then you come over here to Prime and, hey, all of a sudden you can pass the test. It kind of looks weird. But what the truth of the matter is that we probably have the better trainers over here is the reason he passed. We probably explained it in a way that he understood it better. And we probably did a lot more of that 101 training, or not in big groups of people training. So, you know, it's just something to keep in mind. Your journey's not over though. Keep trying, keep pushing. And also, what I'm hearing from a lot of people say that if you fail your test at a trucking school, you got to pay another fee to stay there longer, to do more work, and to retest again. Like, not the entire amount, but say the school costs $5,000 to go to, you have to pay like another $1,000-something to test again. Twin Boy Sets Fire 1, are you at the pad? Yes, I'm at the pad right now. I'm just chilling in my truck. I'm trying to kill some time before I go to dinner here after a while. Han says, training how to drive 57 miles per hour. Let's go, 57 mile per hour fleet. But hey, just so you know, the truck driving competition's tomorrow night out here. So if you're in Springfield, Missouri, or you're going to be here tomorrow night, you can come out here and like come have fun. They do free hot dogs, hamburgers, stuff like that, free drinks. I mean, and then you get, if you want to compete, why not compete? I don't see the point in not competing. You know, for a long time I didn't compete. My first year competing was last year, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it for fun. So I went really fast and, you know, tried it out. Yeah. At the end of the day, what I found out that is you're not really supposed to go really fast. You're supposed to do it in a timely manner, yeah. But as for a score, you're better off getting the better score. So when you're competing, take your time, try it. It's about how close can you get to an item without hitting it, is kind of what I got from it. So it was a lot of fun, though. We had a lot of fun, and, you know, it's good. So tomorrow's the truck driving competition and the truck show. So also, if you want to see some cool trucks, come out here to Springfield, Missouri, check out the cool trucks. And then Saturday is going to be the company picnic. So company picnic, we're going to have lots of food. Normally, I don't know if it is this year, but normally it's all you can eat crab legs. For the kids, they're going to have all the bounce houses. They're going to be, usually there's some straight corn on the outside the building, right around the corner, fried Twinkies, all kinds of great stuff. One year they had like a donut truck out there. You can make your own mini donuts. One year they had a snow cone truck out there, so you could get as many snow cones as you wanted. It's a great time for the whole family. Company picnic, for sure. For sure, come check that out. Greenwich, pop-up live, do it, yeah. Hey, man, I'm just over here trying to kill time till we go out to dinner tonight, man. Like, I don't want to drive all the way home and then come all the way back. So I was like, you know what, I'm done working for the day. I did all I could with my students for the day, so I was like, let's go ahead and go live. What are you up to, Greenwich? Greenwich is in town, too. Hans says he don't want to embarrass us, guys. Hey, Hans, if your company does the truck driving competition, go for it, man. So you win, if you score, if you're in the top, I don't know, however many, that you can be on the prime team to compete in state. Once you compete in state, then there's nationals, and like, it's a true competition. Christopher Dean says 62 to 65 is safe enough for me. I will be a tortoise and reach the goal instead of being a hare and not make it. That's right. So yeah, it's a lot better to take your time and get there safely than it ever is to rush and end up in a ditch. El, how are you doing, man? I'm great. I dropped a like on your video. Hey, man, I appreciate the like on the video. Let's go with the likes. Oh, Greenwich, you doing laundry? Laundry day? I swear, I do my laundry right here. Well, Greenwich, you got, bro, if, like, laundry in this building right here is the cheapest and probably the best around here. I don't know where you went to do laundry, but I like doing mine right here. I like the showers right here, too. Where are you eating dinner? Oh, tonight we're gonna go out to this little Mexican restaurant we always go to. Good food, great time over there. Hopefully I'll see some of my old friends over there. It'll be a good time. We usually have a whole section over there, and like, we have a great time. We're probably loud, and we have a good time though. It's a great time. Every time we went out to eat there, we had an awesome time there. Last time No Hippie Trucking and Transportation was in town, we went to the same place. Trucker Steve, CDL instructor, says, enjoy your dinner. Do you see a future problem with CDL students and driverless tractor trailers? No, I think we're way behind. Like, I think that will come in the future, but as of right now, I don't see that happening anytime soon. So, like, I checked into some research on the full electric trucks and the automated trucks and stuff like that. And like the automated trucks, probably that are still diesel, like I could see that working out a lot better than I could see like a full electric vehicle, because they were having a lot of problems from what I've seen in keeping the truck powered up with the electric trucks. So I don't see it coming right now. In the future, probably. I'm thinking probably at least, I think we're good for at least 15 to 20 years. My bad, I swirled. There's a guy driving by on one of those lawnmowers that we use out here. So I really think that we're good for 15 to 20 years. Wanted you or Danny Chris as a trainer. I ended up getting Danny. I'm in my second week with him. All right, let's go. Danny's a good trainer. If you're going flatbed, Danny's the guy. Let's see. Mike Taylor says, I got word from Prime that I'm approved to go to orientation. I'm doing CDL training, then going for flatbed. Is flatbed freight doing okay right now? As far as I know, it's doing all right now. We are moving into like the winter months, and a lot of outside stuff like construction and stuff, they really like to hit it hard in the summertime, but they're still going to be building stuff year round, so I don't see a problem with it. Hans, don't worry about it. Steven Jefferson. Oh, you're going reefer? You're going reefering? It's all good. Dude, I like being reefer. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I like refrigerated. I really do. It opens you up to more options. Like, I've hauled flatbed stuff inside my reefer. I've hauled shingles inside my reefer. So, you know, if it fits in that reefer, you can haul it. I've hauled boats in that reefer. I've hauled like little ATVs in that reefer. Like, I've hauled a lot of random stuff in there. Christine, lithium batteries in cars burn or explode, so it can also leak dangerous games. So imagine electronic trucks. I will stick with the automated trucks. Yeah, the electric trucks are not working, not doing what they expected to do. Even if you look at the Tesla truck, so I was watching some things on the Tesla truck, the Tesla El Camino. But anyways, I was watching videos of it, and they were taking it off-roading, and it was just killing the battery. Like, it was just killing the battery. So, you know, same thing. Going up a mountain, you don't want it to kill the battery. The only issue with reefer is longer dock times. I don't mind the longer dock times, really. I mean, you can get you a good nap in those docks. Or you can get back there and just play video games or watch TV or watch TV shows. Like, I'm cool with that. If you take too long, I'm going to get paid detention pay. Who doesn't like getting paid while you're sleeping? Like, I don't... In the dock times, in my experience, there's only been a few companies we go to that I know I'm going to be stuck in the dock for a while. So I plan ahead and I get me some good sleep there. And I'm all like, be more than 6 hours. If I'm stuck here, be more than 6 hours, at least 8. That way I can do a split. Or if it makes it to 10 hours, I got a 10-hour break in. I learned my lesson a long time ago. When you're stuck in a dock, just go to bed. So that's kind of what I do now, is whenever I'm like I can already tell it's going to be a while. The guy next to me is like, I've been here for 5 hours. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed. Because I've been there where I got stuck in the dock and got a whole 10-hour break while I was in there. And then my dispatcher doesn't understand why I can't run if I just got a 10-hour break. You know, it's kind of like you have to justify that. Well, I didn't go to sleep because I thought I was going to get out of there. I'd rather make that money. So like, I'm gonna go to sleep. That way I can get my adequate sleep. I took a load to Fort Smith with him 2 days ago. Flatbed ain't for me. Yeah, flatbed's not for me either. Hans, I ain't even reading that comment, but yeah, you know, and I look at it like this too. I know several people that been flatbed, and like some of them were the guys that were all like, oh man, flatbed, you know, we do the real work and stuff like that. And, you know, they were all gun ho on it. Well, as they got older with their knees hurting and their back hurting and them falling apart from all that hard work, they're all like, you know what, I'm going reefer now, or I'm going tanker now. And, you know, it's because, like, you're doing all that lifting and, you know, all that stuff hard on your knees, hard on your back, that your truck driving, like, abilities of being able to be mobile out here and be able to do it is going to be shortened over time. So I'd rather just go reefer, and what I got to worry about is not eating too many sweets and drinking too much energy drinks and stuff like that, you know, and come up with a routine. I will tell you this, that if you're a truck driver, you need to start thinking about your health. So like, coming out here, it's going to be a different lifestyle. What you would normally eat is not what you're going to eat no more. Like, so like, if you normally just ate a whole bunch of food and went to your normal job, you're working off all of those calories, you're losing that weight. But out here, you're gonna want to eat enough to pretty much survive. Like, you want to make sure your portions are good, because you're not moving around much. You're moving your arms, you're making turns and stuff like that. You need to get out the truck and walk around the truck. I used to walk, I would walk circles around my truck. You know, I forgot how many laps around the truck equaled a mile, but I used to walk around the truck and stuff like that. I would make sure that I wasn't one of those guys that I can't stand it. But there's a lot of people that use the bathroom outside their truck, like in the truck stops. Walk to the store, use the restroom in the store. I had a student one time, so the field bays, there was like 4 field bays, and then there was 2 trucks, us, and then another truck, because they had spots right next to the field bay. And instead of this guy walking into the truck stop and using the restroom, he just got out and used the bathroom right there. And I was like, dude, what the man. But he was not the cleanest student ever. Like, he was not good at washing his hands, that's for sure. But you know, he just wasn't a clean student. Not only did he pee outside the truck right there, right next to my truck, where it smelled in my truck because I had the APU on. So we ended up leaving out of that truck stop as soon as that happened, because we were going to be there for like 16 hours. So I was like, man, we'll get plenty of sleep. We'll wake up when we wake up and we'll go. After I woke up to the smell of urine and stuff, I was like, no, we're leaving now. Like, he's all like, oh man, I thought we were going to sleep here for longer. And I was, no, we're leaving now. But not only did he do that, he also got out of the truck barefooted in the truck stop and got back in barefooted. And I was all like, man, if he's walking around the truck stop barefooted, he's probably not using shower shoes in the shower. And I was all like, oh man. I was like, I gotta test this guy out. So like, I was on my way back. I was like, let's get this guy off my truck. I just like, I like clean. Like, I like it to be clean. I'm kind of a germaphobe at sometimes. I'd rather fist bump anyone than shake anyone's hand, I will tell you that. Like, I'd rather just, hey buddy, what's up? You know, to me that's a lot better than shaking hands. And, you know, I'm not a complete germaphobe. Like, I'm not the freaking out guy that's like, I'm gonna die. But I'm like the guy that's like, wash your hands after you use the bathroom. It drives me nuts when people come out of the bathroom at truck stops and they don't wash their hands. They just walk right out. I'm like, oh man, that's disgusting. So like, I'll look at, I see the dude in the store. I'm all like, oh, he used that drink case. I'm not getting a drink out of there. Oh, he's going to that register. I'm gonna go to that one. Like, it's just, I'm that guy, but I'm not super bad about it. Mike Taylor says, it's tough for sure. I'm only 38, but my back's been hurting every job I've had for the last 15 years. A little ibuprofen and exercise makes my back hurt less. He is telling the truth about everything. Yeah, man, save your backs. Save your backs. And right now I'm trying to lose a lot of weight myself. Like I'm over 300 pounds. Like I'm over 300 pounds. I want to get back to 220. So right now I'm really working on it. I'm working on my health a lot. Like my blood pressure has been high, so I'm trying to get my blood pressure down. And I am really focused on working on myself and getting it right. I have not had an energy drink in, I don't even know, like probably 4 or 5 weeks. So my dad turned 50, and he turned 50, and the same week he turned 50, he went to a doctor with chest pains, and they took him to the hospital, and he had surgery. He went to have some stents put in, and once they put in the stents, his heart wouldn't beat on its own right. So the muscles in his heart died because they weren't used much. So what happened is his heart was only doing that. It wasn't fully pumping the blood. So because of that, they put him on a machine, got him on the list for a heart transplant. He was never up after that, though. Like, it was pretty much over from there. So he lived on the ventilator and stuff like that. And then one day they said, hey, we're going to take it. We need you to sign to take him off. And I was like, you know what? You know, my mom was like, I can't do it. And I was like, you know what? My dad always said that he never wanted to live on a machine. He never wanted to live like this. So that was his wish. So what did I do? I said, hey, hold up. Let me go get my brother from school. He was in high school. I was like, I'm going to go get my brother, you know, and then I'll be back. And I want him to be able to say bye, and then I'll sign the paperwork. And I said, okay. And they said, if it makes you feel any better, if you don't sign it, we're going to get 2 doctors to sign it, and we're going to take him off because we believe that there's nothing left. I said, cool. So I went and got my brother. I picked him up from school. He was like, hey, what's going on? Is Dad better? I'm like, nah, he's not. Like, I had to tell my brother what was going on the way up there. So, like, look, this is what's happening. Like, this is what's going to happen. And we just got in there, took him off life support, and it was kind of the worst thing. It was like the worst thing that, like, I wish that they would have just said, hey, y'all can wait in the lobby and we'll let you know when it's done. But they didn't. They just shut the curtain right as soon as the paper was signed. They took off it, shut the curtain. You could hear them taking all the stuff off of them, the hoses, ventilator, all that stuff off. And then they opened up the curtain. When they opened up the curtain, my head was kind of turned. Only one eye was open. His mouth was open. I mean, it was just a dramatic, like, scene, like, just seeing that. Like, I told my family, I was like, y'all get out of here. And then I went in there and I touched my dad's hand and I told him bye and stuff. Like, you know, he was already gone, but I really don't want that for me. Like, I really don't want that for me. So it's time for me to start doing better. And, you know, I wish I would have never got this far, let's say, let myself go this much. But unfortunately I did, so now I got to do a lot of work to fix it. I wish I would have started fixing it a long time ago. And I knew better. I didn't know better, but the thing is, I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm having good blood pressures. My blood pressure's been good every time I go to the doctor. So I'm going to live life as long as I could. I guess I was thinking I'm going to live life as long as I can this way, that I'm enjoying the sodas and the greasy food and all that. And then as soon as I get a high blood pressure, I'm gonna have to do something about it. So guess what? I'm at that point where I got to do something about it, and I wish I didn't have that kind of mindset, and I wish that I would have started doing something back then. So yeah, it's kind of, it's my fault, you know. And then I also think, I'm all like, if I have to have stents or something like that ever, if I have to have that kind of surgery, I asked myself, am I gonna do that surgery? Because at the end of the day, my dad didn't make it. Didn't make it from that surgery, so you know, it's just one of those things. Like, right now, I'd say probably not. I probably do not want to have that surgery. You know, I'll probably be like, when it's my time, it's my time. I'm just being real. Like, your health is very important out here. Mike Taylor says, I'm 260. My blood pressure is DLT maxed. I got a 1 year though. Hear ya. I got to do better myself. Exactly. And like, while I'm doing these different workouts and stuff, I'm also like taking notes on what I'm doing, and I'm also taking notes of what I can do inside a truck and what I cannot do inside a truck. So I'm all like,
attention, a new important message has.
My bad. I should have muted that. But I'm like trying to figure out, like, oh, I could be doing this in the truck. I could be doing, you know, I can't do this one in the truck, because I'm really looking into a bunch of doing a lot of calisthenics and stuff like that. So I'm trying to find out which ones I could do in the truck, which ones I can't. Mike Taylor says, I'm sorry to hear that. My plans, I had to plan my father's funeral right after he got hit in a car wreck. Time stops when good people leave us. Exactly. No, I know exactly what you mean, man. Blink Twice says, I'm with you, Twisted. I'm on the weight loss journey myself. I'm 565. I got to come down, so when I come back into trucking, I'll be ready to go. Yeah, and bro, where there's a will, there's a way. You know, part of mine was like, honestly, was like, I was not happy with my life and my situation. So, you know, for a long time, I didn't care. Like, I was like, if it happens, it happens. You know, I'm not saying that like I wanted something to happen to me, because like I love living, but I'm just like, you know, what's this soda gonna hurt? Like, so what? I gained some weight, you know, and I didn't really think about it too much. But the more I think about it, and like now my life situation is way better. Like, I'm feeling like everything's going good in my life, minus my blood pressure, you know, and then getting my lab works, getting an actual PCP, because like, I haven't had a PCP. I have the insurance and everything, but I didn't go set up a PCP, and I didn't go regular doctor visits. And most of it is because like I didn't want to hear what they had to say. Like, I knew you're morbidly obese. You vape. You do this. You do that. You do this. You do that. And you know, I'm like, I just didn't want to hear it. It's just like something that you just want to like, hey man, that's like, it's cool, I do that stuff. So now I got a PCP, and I'm doing my blood work and stuff, and they're all like, oh, your liver's not where I want it to be. It's like, oh man, that's great too. So now we're like doing more blood work to get that fixed, checked out, or they may have to sonogram in it, or do an ultrasound, ultrasound to look at it. So hey, found a new problem. But you know, at the end of the day, it's gonna be good, because I'm starting to get myself back on track, and I'm pretty sure that I have faith that I can get myself back. Sam Avocado, what's going on, Sam? Oh man, I miss you out here, Sam. I really do. Sam's still out there trucking, and I keep in touch with him, and he's doing awesome. And doing big things, and like I'm proud of you, man. Like you're making some good decisions out there. I'm proud of you. I do miss seeing you out here, though. We need to get together sometime. Either you need to come out here and see me, or I need to go out there and see you sometime, bro. Yeah, I hear you. I get white coat anxiety before the doctor's visit. The older you get, it screws your medication more. They mean well. Hanging, yeah, they do. They do. So my wife wanted to get me one of those long pill things that said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever. And I was like, dang, I'm not that old. I'll remember to take my pills. Like, what? I'm only on one pill. Like, really? But I was like, man, am I getting that old that I need a pill, weekly pill thing? I'm all like, dang. Working with it. Sam says, I'm working on it. Need to change of scenery, so I might come out to Missouri. Let's go, man. Shoot, you're missing the company picnic, bro. Could be my +1. But yeah, training out here is going good. I see that we're getting the class sizes have been maintaining. Like we haven't had the big ups and downs anymore. They've been maintaining lower than they've been in the past few years, but we're also now there's been split between the terminals now. So you know, I see more people coming in. We're changing people's lives. Doing good on that. Cipoano, hello. What's going on? I hope I probably butchered that. Yeah. However you say your name, what's going on? Hopefully, after this election, I'm hoping the freight really picks up. I'm ready for trucking to boom again. I want to make some serious money again. I got some bills to pay. Simple Avocado says, I'm gonna to be a +1. I'm gonna have to shave my legs for the special occasion. Yeah, shave your legs. Nobody likes no hairy legs, bro. I'm thinking about what I've been thinking about here lately is I'm getting real close to go ahead and ordering a truck and getting out of the Freightliner and maybe into a Peterbilt, because I've never had a Peterbilt before, and I think it would be cool to change it up some. So right now I'm thinking about maybe making that switch over from Freightliner to Peterbilt. Haven't made a decision yet, but main reason I picked, like, I'm so like Freightliner, one of the main reasons is just the shop. The shop's open more. I got more availability of where I can take my truck. So that's one of the biggest factors that I'm in the Freightliner. The next one would be like, I've been in nothing but Freightliners, so guess what? I'm comfortable with what I know. So I think it would be kind of cool to switch it up and try something else out. And if I didn't like the Peterbilt, then guess what? In another 3 years, I'll order the next one. Christopher Dean says, yep, want to try a Peterbilt. I'm doing TNT and a Freightliner. Yeah, see, I mean, just to see what the difference is. Simply Avocado says, that's all I drive is a Pete. That's all you blow up is a Pete too. Blow it up. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, it's might be nice. I do like. One of the things also is the refrigerator for the Peterbilt. I like my big dorm fridge over here. Like, I got a big refrigerator. You know, it's not a truck size refrigerator, and those Peterbilts have like that small refrigerator still. So I kind of like having a bigger refrigerator. Used to be I didn't like the turning radius, but all my friends that got Peterbilts now, the new Peterbilts, the turning radius seems like and feels like it's just as good as a Freightliner. Yeah, Sam, the turn radius, so Sam says if you're going to switch over to a P, you're going to have to restructure your teaching due to the turn radius. Not really. Not really. Because, you know, maybe on turning, maybe I'll be like, you can't wait as long to turn. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to find out how far you can go out there to make the turn, to turn the wheel to make that left turn. As for a right turn, it still is the same thing. You're reacting to the back of the trailer. And for the backing, you're still reacting to the back of the trailer. You're taking the back of the trailer around the line and down it. So, I mean, it's the exact same thing. The way, so my student I have right now, the way I'm teaching him how to back, where I'm just like, hey, there's a spot, put it in there. I could put him in a Peterbilt, International, Freightliner, Volvo, whatever, and he could still back it in there. I have confidence in that, and I could even take it further than that. He can back that tanker over there. He can back that flatbed over there. There is nothing that he can't back with it, because he's just making the trailer go where it needs to go. And if you can do that, if you've got that eye-hand coordination, is what I call it. Like, your eyes will tell your hands what to do with that wheel. If he has that down, he can back anything out here. Straight up. And so, like, a couple years ago, me and Justin, Thomas, we would all work with each other's students. Like, if I had a load to go on, I left my students with one of them. I left my students with Justin, because he had a flatbed, and my students could back on the flatbed. And if Thomas or Justin left, they would leave their students with me, or, you know, whoever, and they could back on the reefer. And what we were finding out is that my reefer students that learned on my reefer, with the reefer trailer, with the box trailer, students I had, they said the flatbed was easier to back with. And the guys that learned on the flatbed, they said the reefer was easy to work with. And what it boiled down to is the guys with the box trailer, they said, man, it's so much easier because you can see the other side of the trailer. Like, you can see across the trailer because there's nothing blocking your view. And what the flatbed guys said was, it's easier because you can't overthink it, because you can't see across the trailer to the other side. So now I'm not overthinking. And I'm all like, wow. So you went from, like, we're going from both ends of the spectrum here. Like, one guy's saying that it's easier because he can see across the trailer, and then the other guys are saying it's easier because you can't see across the trailer. So, I mean, it was kind of neat to, like, have the different perspectives. Like, you started on the flatbed, you know, and what I would have answered, and this is just me, and this is the only thing that I think would make one easier than the other to back, is the length of the trailer. The flatbed's shorter, so it's going to react faster, and it's going to fit into a tighter spot, I believe. That's kind of what I think. Like, tanker is a really short trailer. I think that probably should be the easiest trailer out of all of them to back. I could be wrong. Simply Avocado says, you do have a point, I guess. It's because I drive tanker now, and it's much shorter than the original 53 footers. Yeah. So that would be my reasoning, that, hey, this is easier because it's a shorter trailer. Because at the end of the day, you're putting it in the same size box out here now. So, like, the reefer, flatbed, and tanker, it's all going in the same size box. We have a 53-foot long trailer, and flatbed has, what, a 47, I want to say? I can't remember the exact number. Hopefully somebody else knows. There's one flatbed trailer out here that is 53 foot long, and most trainers don't even mess with it because they're all like, oh man, that trailer, it's not doing the point system. It changes everything. And I see the point. It would change everything if you're using the points. If you're not using the points and you're just like, hey, back that sucker in there, it doesn't matter the length of it. Oh, it's 48. It's 48 foot. So I said 47. My bad. Thank you. Mike Taylor says, does Hazmat pay the most in trucking B? All my buddies run dump trucks, so I'm the low on the info about it. It depends where you're working. It really does. It depends where that load's coming from. I mean, just like any freight, they all pay different prices. The thing with getting your hazmat is it opens the door for more loads. So if you got your hazmat, that opens the door for maybe you pick up a hazmat load in that location that you're in. So say there's 10 trucks over there waiting for a load, and they got one hazmat load over there, and none of them have a hazmat, but you, guess what? You're going to get that load. Like, here you go, take it. Now, does it pay more? They pay a little bit more in some places. Some places they pay way more. So it just depends where you're getting it from and what is the actual hazmat like item that's in there. And like Sam just said, so Sam Avocado says, hazmat does pay more. How much more depends on the company and the type of material that is hazmat. So that's exactly what I was thinking right there. Is it depends on it, and there's a whole bunch of different types of hazmat too. You're talking like all the way up to like explosive stuff. Like pretty much the more dangerous it is, probably the more it's gonna pay. Is the way to look at it. That's the way I would look at it. I don't have hazmat because I don't want to have to deal with the placards. I don't want to carry a bunch of placards with me. I don't want to have to buy placards. I don't want to carry my bills in the door over here and have to have the chemical data sheets right there with them. And, I don't want to have to mess with none of that because here at Prime, I have not heard anyone say, hey man, I get richer for doing this hazmat load. I wonder, shoot, I don't even know how much more it would pay a company driver if it doesn't pay any more for a company driver. So, at the end of the day, I'm a company driver. I'm not too big on doing the hazmat. It's a good thing to have. I'm not going to say it's not a good thing to have. Plus, I think if you get your hazmat, like you had a background check, you had, fingerprinting, all that stuff done, and I think that looks good on the application somewhere, and I think it's going to look good if you need to get a passport or anything like that. I mean, it's going to be like, hey, buddy, like I got all this stuff. Simply Avocado says, explosive radioactive material, radioactive waste, poisonous gas, marine pollution, oxidizers. So, yeah. But just like a passport, like I don't tell Prime I have a passport because with my luck, and I'm one of those guys that sometimes I have bad luck. So with my luck, I look at it like this. In wintertime, with my luck, I'm going to get that load to Canada. Daniel don't want to go to Canada. I don't want to go to Canada in the wintertime. In the summertime, yeah, I'll probably go check it out. From what I heard with the clocks in Canada, though, like, you don't want to go to Canada because, there's a lot of stuff like mandatory so long breaks and stuff like that. Their logs are different. and from what I heard, is if you're running on recaps and you go into Canada, you're going to be there for like at least minimum of 2 days. Like you're going to be stuck there with nothing to do for 2 days because you need a fresh clock to get out of there. Just gave you a honk. Where are you at? Gave you a honk. The only truck that drove by I thought was Primetime Fix. So on so far, and I forgot flammable. Yeah, flammable. Yeah, I don't want to mess with anything. Like I've survived a fire one time, and that's good enough for me. I'm not risking myself around any more fires. Like, nope. That stuff is no good. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time right now. If you're a student and you're here right now, man, you got hooked up, man. Like I just told my 2 guys today, I said, hey man, y'all gonna have fun this week, but man, we're gonna be back at it next week. Like I'm all like, I said, you get the safety meeting, then Friday evening you got the truck driving competition, and Saturday you got the company picnic. I'm all like, man, y'all living life over here. I said, make sure, and every time this time of the year, or any event we have at Prime, and I have students here that are able to go to these events, I always tell them, hey, go to these events. I want you to see like how much appreciation we have here, because this, like, Prime is the best place that shows their employees how much they appreciate you. Like all the awards and stuff, the jackets, the rings, the plaques, like everything they do, the company picnics, the food, the parties, all that stuff that they do for you here. Like, I've never been at a company that actually like cared about you like that. Like state of Texas, I got my 5-year award. It was a piece of paper printed out. Hey, you've been here 5 years. The 10-year award, it was a piece of paper that was printed out, like a little printed out certificate. Hey, congratulations, you've been here 10 years. Man, I'm 2 years of on-time deliveries, and 2 years of on-time deliveries. They gave me a Prime ring. Like, they gave me a gold ring with a diamond on it for being on time for 2 years. I'm all like, what? Man, they give you these little pins. Like, go collect your pins. They give you little pins that a lot of people, if you see those drivers around the terminal with those necklaces with all the pins on them that hold their ID badge, that's the pins I'm talking about. And what they are is, like, I drove through the winter of 2024. I drove through the summer of 2024. They got a COVID one. I was a driver during COVID. So it's like a whole bunch of pins that Prime makes and gives you for free at the company store. You have to ask for them. Not only that, on your app, they give you a lot of free stuff all the time. Like, I got jackets, I got all kinds of stuff, shirts, I got hats, and I don't like wearing like the company I work for logo on me and stuff like that. I'm not big into it, but I picked them all up and I got them all. I appreciate that they did that for me. I'm just not one of those people that like to wear. So, and it boils back down to, like, hey, whenever I was a correctional officer, it was not good to go anywhere in your uniform or any of your work stuff. You did not want to be seen in that, because guess what? Somebody might have an issue. Say somebody was locked up and they might still have an issue with any type of person that was doing that job. Guess what? They might attack you or something. You never know. So, like, we did not wear our stuff like that. So now I'm here and, like, you're giving me a Prime logo to wear around. I'm all like, I don't know about that. So Mike says, I like free swag bags. No shit, I was corrections for 10 years. Yeah, hey, I was corrections for 13 years. 13 years. We didn't get nothing. We got in trouble a lot. That's what we got. Man, corrections, your supervisors are out to get you in trouble. Yeah, funny thing is, I was thinking today. So today I was out here and I was watching my guy back. And I was just thinking to myself, I said, man, I got the best job ever. I said, I set my own hours. I said, I start my day when I want. I end my day when I want. It's all like, man, life is good. Life is good. Like, I can't complain out here. Life is freaking awesome. Man, who has a job where you can set your own hours? Who has a job where, like, I have a job where I really can't be late to work because, you know, I'm here. Like, I'm here. I can be late to a delivery, but as for getting late to work, if I slept in an extra 15 minutes, as long as I still made my load on time, so like I make sure that I make my load on time, but you know, if I want to sleep in for an extra 15 minutes, man, I can do it. River Bend, Max, Nashville, Tennessee. I made corporal back in 06. My raise was $42 a month. Yeah. Hey, bro, and then like they all in corrections, they always give you a raise, but they raise your medical insurance at the same time, so you never get a raise either. So poverty and yeah. No, I know what you mean, man. Like, I did that. 13 years, man. I worked GP, I worked Max, I worked SEG, I worked psych facility, I worked hospital. Like, I've worked a lot of different places. Yeah, it's not a good career. I don't want anyone to go into that. It's kind of funny. Sometimes I'll get people from my home state. I'll get somebody from Texas. And I got a couple of guys that they're all like, I came from TDCJ. And I'm like, oh, yeah? And I listen to their stories. They're all like I don't tell nobody at first. Like, I won't be like, oh, yeah, me too. I'll be like, I'm going to listen to this dude's story, see what he says. So, like, you know, this guy that's been there 2 years. He's all like, man, I've been there 2 years. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's all like, I did this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm all like, yeah. Like, oh, I believe that. Like, I got moved into this position. I got this special job that required me to drive a prison bus. And I'm all like, that's one of the jobs you got a board for and stuff. And they usually only hire like certain people to do it. So like, I'm all like, if you only been in that long, there's a lot of people with seniority. I really don't believe that you have that job, stuff like that. I just always like to listen to people first. A lot of times you can find out a lot of things about a lot of people by just sitting back and listening. You know, you can find out a whole bunch about people just by listening to them. Let them talk. People will talk yourself into a train wreck if you let them. Mike Taylor says, that's why I think I do trucking full time. I like the quiet so much after corrections. I watch paint dry and be content. Patience is above average. And I think that that's one of the things that made me so successful at training out here is because, like, one, I don't put up with no attitudes and stuff like that. I'm not putting up with it. Like, I shut it down before it even becomes a problem. If somebody starts giving me attitude, I'm all like, whoa, hey, we're not gonna do that. We will not do that. Like, I'm not giving you attitude. I expect the same respect back. So, like, I'm real quick at shutting that down. I'm all like, hey, we're not doing that. We're not doing this attitude thing. I'm real, like, I know to start out up here and work my way to a comfortable spot. When I say that, that means that I'm going to start off like up here, and that's not going to be Mr. Nice Guy. That's going to be like, first day I meet you, I'm going to be like, hey, welcome in the truck, man, jump on in. And then I'm going to pull out my pre-trip. I'm going to give them the speech on pre-trip. You will study this. You will get this down. You will learn this. If you do not, you will stand outside in the heat. You will stand outside in the cold. I do not take studying this, reading this paper in your room as studying. I only count as this truck as studying. At this truck with the hood open and you touching these parts. That's it. You know, and I explained to them everything that day. And like, I'm not nice about it. And usually after I explain it, I let them leave for the day. Because I want them to set in and be like, dang, my trainer's serious about everything. And then I go through like the back end. I tell them all, I'm all like, that brake pedal's not your friend, stay off of it. When I'm talking about pulling up, I need 100% listening. I don't need you thinking about nothing. I need you to listen to me and perform it. You know, and then I'm all like, I'm driving, I'm not the guy that's going to tell you to do anything right. I'm the guy that's going to tell you everything you do wrong. We can learn from the mistakes we make. If we're making mistakes and we're not realizing, hey, I made a mistake, we're not learning from it. So don't try to justify it or anything like that. Just learn from it and move on. Don't try to tell me, hey, I did that because I saw a black bird fly across the sky. Like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I want to know, hey, did we learn from it? Are we going to do it again? That's what I want to know. Hey, are you understanding that? And then I think also being able to understand like body language really well, because I can tell a lot from somebody's body language, their posture, like just their tone. I can tell a lot about somebody just by small items like that. So I can start picking up on stuff before it becomes like, so I can kind of know the guy's personality more. You learn a lot also, my friend Justin, he's the one that says this all the time. He says, man, I learned a lot from that first day back, doing straight line back with the individual, and that first drive. And it's the same. You learn from like how they're doing back and how they're doing driving. You learn from that stuff. And you can see like, do they get frustrated fast? Do they get, are they happy-go-lucky? Do they think too much? Do they try too hard? Like, you can tell a lot about somebody just from watching that. Same thing with body movements. How slow you walk to the truck. How fast you walk to the truck. When I say, hey, get over here and drive, how fast do you get up to get into the seat? Do you want to get in the seat, or are you like, oh, you talking to me? You want me to drive? Like, you're like, oh, man, this dude just asked me if I wanted him to drive whenever I told him to jump on the seats. So, like, it helps. It helps a lot. I think without me doing that for a long time, then for 13 years, then I probably wouldn't be as great of a trainer as I am today. Like, I deal with people's patience out. Like, So, I am the most impatient person you'll ever meet. Like, I want something done. I want it done like that. I am very impatient with it. If I'm at a light, I'm like, I'm over here. I'm that guy at the light, like, snapping my finger. Green now. Like, I'm going to change the light with my finger or something. I'm like, green. You know, I'm trying to get the light to change. I'm trying to help it out. I'm like, hurry up, light. I'm super impatient. But out here, when my student's backing and he keeps messing it up, I'm like, do it again. Let me tell you what you're doing wrong. Let me tell you this. You know, it's a whole bunch of, like, it's a whole bunch of learning from mistakes out here, and like, I'm real patient with that, I guess. My students tell me all the time, man, thank you for being so patient. I'm all like, okay, I don't think I'm patient, but that's cool. So, you know, it happens. Respect is everything. And, you know, a lot of people hold respect so high. Like, a lot of people hold respect as the highest thing in the world. I don't hold respect as the highest thing. What I hold higher than respect is loyalty. That's what I hold higher. Like loyalty. You just make me think of that. Every time I hear somebody like respect, no. Because somebody will respect you, but they will still be the one that will end you. But when you have somebody that's loyal, they respect you, they will ride or die with you, they will go to war with you, they will always have your back, they will push you up. That's a lot better than having somebody respect you. If I'm loyal to you, man, like I am in your corner no matter what. Like I am there. So loyalty is way, way more important than respect to me. I could be wrong. That's just what I feel, because you hear people all the time, man, you can make somebody respect you by using scare tactics. They might respect you just because they fear you. What happens when somebody fears you so much that they got to fight or flight and there's no way to get away? They're gonna fight. You know? So I'm just saying, I think loyalty, I hold loyalty really high. What's yours is yours, and what's mine is yours. That sounds like being married. Is that what you're talking about? That's like having a wife. Everything I own is hers, though. Everything she owns is hers. No, but yeah, it's all good. I'm starting to really see the kind of the bigger picture out here, if you would say. Like for the longest time, I was all like, man, I keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. Like I knew I was changing people's lives. Like I was like, man, I'm changing somebody's life. Like I'm helping them to be better out here. But the more I'm thinking about this and the more I'm doing this is I'm like, my boy, the more I'm doing this and the more I'm out here working is not only am I changing that person's life, but I'm also instilling into them like some of the qualities that I hold high to me, like, and they're teaching the next generation and the next generation. You know, I'm starting to get at the age where, like, some of my students, I'm all like, what year are you born? What year were you born? 2003. I'm all like, dang, I graduated in 2003. I'm starting to get older, so, like, it's eye-opening. Like, I'm starting to realize different stuff. It's like people say, with age comes wisdom, and I'm starting to feel like I'm getting wise. So I'm looking at stuff a lot different this year. Stuff like my whole world has been shook up from the end of last year to the beginning of this year. Like I look at a whole bunch of stuff a lot different than I used to. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying like it's a good thing. Like I feel a lot better. Like I got up today and I was like, man, I know I still got a long ways to go on my journey to getting myself to 220 or less. Like I got a long ways to go and I got a lot of work to do, but you know, the more I'm working out and the more I'm doing and the more I'm moving, the better I'm feeling. Like I got up this morning and I felt like I was on top of the world. Like I was like, man, I feel healthy, you know, and I felt like I've been working on myself for about a month now, but for some reason today I got up and I was like, I feel healthy. I feel like I got some energy today. I'm not sluggish. Like I'm ready to get today going. Like let's go. Let's have a good day. You know, and then it might be, hey, maybe I'm just in a good mood because I get to go hang out with Greenwich today, and whoever else is going to be there. Get to see some of my friends that I haven't seen in a long time. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. just felt a lot better today than I have been feeling. That's my form of loyalty. Your form of loyalty is what's yours is yours, and what's mine is mine. Mine is yours. Oh. You call me grandpa, bro? Bro, so I went and renewed my driver's license the other day, right? And I was like, I'm gonna go renew my driver's license, and they took a new picture. And bro, like, I looked at my old driver's license from, I think the driver's license, what? It's like 6 years in the state of Missouri. How long is it? Let me see when this expires. 2030 is when it expires soon. So 6 years. So I looked at my picture from 6 years ago, and I was all like, bro, like my beard used to be reddish brown. I was all like, man, my beard was looking good. Then I got this horrible driver's license picture, man. It's horrible. Like, I look old. I look old. Oh man, let's see here. Stop the glare. See that? See how old this dude looks? Man, I'm looking old. I was all like, oh my gosh. I was like, who is this? Maybe I need to get some of that Just for Man and start brushing it, you know? Anything needed to help you succeed or to survive. Exactly. I like that song. Let me say it this way. Grandpa Greenwich? Oh man. Yeah, they're bringing all the trucks down here and all that stuff for the truck driving competition. So I'm watching them bringing all these trucks, and they're going and getting them one by one. Go get the truck, drive it over here, hook it up to the trailer. So yeah, they're getting all that ready. I'm hoping to get some work done on the pad tomorrow. I mean, I really don't like. This guy I got, I'm really just running him. He can't even test till like next week. This dude is test ready right now. Like, if they call me right now and say, hey, bring your student in here and test, I could call him, hey, get back to the pad, take him over there, and that dude would pass. Like, and that's what I like to do. I like 1 week before you test, I want you completely ready. That's one thing that I've been doing for all year this year. Is 1 week before your test, I have you completely ready to pass a test. Greenwich, a man that can tell you what it was during the Boston Tea Party. Mike says, when Prime approves someone for orientation, do they set up orientation within a week usually? They're going to ask. They can set it up pretty quick, or you can tell them, hey, can you push it out for like 3 weeks? I need to put in my 2 weeks notice at my job. Man, I've been watching some different videos, and like, so I always believed that it was good to put in a 2 weeks notice. Like, I was always taught 2 weeks notice, don't burn your bridges, yada yada yada. But I was watching somebody on TikTok or YouTube the other day, and I was all like, it's like, this dude makes a great point. He said, well, if I get fired from this job, they don't give me a 2 weeks notice to when y'all fire me, so I'm not putting in a 2 weeks notice whenever I leave this place. And I was all like, thinking to myself, I was like, man, that does make sense. I don't know. I was just thinking, I was like, man, I don't know, even though, I mean, they say don't burn the bridges, but I put in a 2 weeks notice when I left my job. And then I watched another video about 2 weeks notice the other day, and this guy was all like, he goes, here's what I do whenever one of my employees puts a 2 weeks notice, and he's all like, I just pay him for 2 weeks and tell him to take 2 weeks off to get ready for his next job. He's all like, because I'm not going to get good work out the person. He knows he's leaving. You know, he had some reasons behind it, and I was like, that makes sense. That does make sense. I didn't even work my last day of my 2 weeks notice. My 2 weeks notice. So we worked 4 on, 4 off. So I put my 2 weeks notice in, came to work on Monday. I called in 3 days. The next week I came to work on Monday, Tuesday, and I worked half of the day the next day, and then the next day I was like, you know what, I told my supervisor, I was like, can I just go turn in my uniform and go home? I really ain't gonna do nothing all day. Maybe walk around and just tell everyone bye. Can I just turn my stuff in and leave? And he's all like, I don't got a problem with it. He's all like, you do whatever you want. I was like, cool. So I just went and turned my uniforms in and left. And Mike says, I hear what he's saying. I'll try to give 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it's everyone's different. I've been thinking about it here lately, and I'm all like, you know, I don't think I'm gonna give a 2 weeks notice. You know, like if I ever do something, you know, I just don't see the point in it no more. Because, like, okay, so take this for example. I've had students that quit crime before, and they came back to crime, and they didn't put in a 2 weeks notice. And they came right back. So that's one thing. That's another thing. Hey, they didn't put in their 2 weeks notice, and they came back. But the thing is, they brought the truck back. If you're at a trucking company, if you're gonna quit, you're gonna tell somebody to get your truck back. So probably from right then, that's your 2 weeks notice. Like you're gonna be like, hey man, get me routed back on this date to the terminal. Well, why is that? Because I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice right now. Like I'm leaving in 2 weeks, and that'll be 2 weeks. They're probably gonna get you back a day early anyways, or 2 days early. You're gonna stay there. You make sure that the truck turning process went through great, and that you're not charged for nothing, and then you're gone. So I don't know. It's a good idea to. The main thing with trucking is make sure your truck gets back turned in. Make sure your truck is turned in. You don't want any truck abandonments on your record, period. Like, it's not good. Turn your trucks in. Turn them back into wherever you picked it up from. Like, make sure it's good with the company. Like, hey man, I'm turning my truck, here it is, blah blah blah. I go to like the leasing department or wherever I need to at the place I'm at, and I'd be like, hey, you got my truck turned in yet? Like, you got it down that I turned it in? They're like, yeah, okay, well, I'm leaving now. Like, I'd make sure that they got it. Because I've heard of weird stuff. Like, I had a guy email me one time, hey, Prime won't hire me because I got a truck abandonment. And like, I didn't abandon my truck, or, you know, I took my truck back. And I was all like, well, where'd you take it back to? He was all like, man, I parked it inside their lot in the wrong area. I was like, what do you mean the wrong area? He's like, I parked it back there where the trailers were. I left it there because it was closer for me to walk to my car from there, to my rental car. And I was all like, oh. I said, did you tell him it was there? He was all like, nope. I was all like, So, like, hey, make sure you go and let them know that your truck's there and you're turning it in, all that good stuff. Woo, 12-hour shifts. Nah, I do not like 12-hour shifts. Like, nope, never again. Never again. Well, like, nope, Don't miss 12-hour shifts. Devin says, what's your thoughts on the cams, and do you plan on staying when they make it mandatory for all trucks? Yeah, I try to go get that camera. I try to get that camera put in my truck. I say, man, you know what? I do YouTube, and if I get the camera put in my truck, I'll get the camera put in my truck. I'll be able to test it out. I'll have information about it. I'll be able to tell people like how it really is, what it really picks up, you know, all that stuff. And I went over there, and the guy was like, I'm taking a lunch break. Come back in an hour. And I was like, I'm not coming back in an hour. Like, you know, I said, I don't want it that bad. So then next time I was in the yard, I was all like, let me go get it done now. I went over there to get it done. The guy was all like, I got to do this truck. I got to finish this truck. And then I got to do that truck over there because that guy in that bay, he had to leave for something. He's all like, and then I'll get to yours. He's all like, it takes about like 40 minutes to install them. So it's about, I'll get you in there in about an hour and a half. And I was like, man, time is money, dude. I got to go. Like, so I left again. I said, I'll just go in there some other time. Next time I went in there, they said, we're out of cameras. We don't have no more. I said, dang. So I've been kind of, sort of trying to get one. I'm not saying I'm 100% trying to get one, but I've been kind of, sort of trying to get one. And I want to see, I do want the camera. I do want to see, like, what it's really like. I do want to give people information on it. So I'm not tripping about the camera at all. I wish every company out there would put cameras in the truck. I would go even further than that. I wish everybody's personal vehicle had a camera in it. And after, like, say each week you can have like 5 violations for a cell phone, because that's what I'm caring about. I don't care about anything else. If they just put a camera in personal cars that picked up if you were using phones, cell phones or tablets or computers or whatever, if you're sitting there playing around on your phone while you're driving, texting and driving, watching movies while you're driving, all that stuff, if it would just, if you get 5 violations a week, then you would have to go get it reviewed, and if the review came back that you were guilty every single time, all 5 times, then boom, here's your ticket for, you know, using a cell phone while operating a moving vehicle. Because the cell phones are being such an issue. Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't like me saying that, but that is the truth. Like, I'll see trucks driving like real bad, and we'll pass them, or they'll pass us, and I look over, you know, I'm in the passenger seat, so I'll look over and I'll be like, yep, texting and driving. Like semi trucks, personal cars, everything, like hazmat trucks, like tankers, everything. People everywhere, people are on their cell phone and distracted. They are. So, like, hey, if they ever pass a bill on that, then, like, I'm down for it. Like, sign it. Like, make it where everybody in a commercial vehicle has a camera in there. Cool. And the ones that don't want to drive because there's a camera, guess what? That's job security for me, because I get to stay. You know? I get to stay. Oh, you didn't miss nothing, Greenwich. We're really on a random. We're on random topics. Like, we're just talking about whatever today. Mike says, my father got hit and killed by a car by a texting 21-year-old girl. She got no charges. Yeah, and that's ridiculous. That right there, that's ridiculous. No charges. It's horrible. The electronics, the cell phones and stuff like that, they're such a major issue. Like, I drive home every day, of course I drive home every day. So I'm in my personal vehicle going home all the time, and like, I see people with their phones turned sideways like this. They're over the steering wheel like this. One hand's on the wheel, guiding it. But they are sitting there watching a full movie or a full TV show on the way home. And I just don't get that. Like, that is dangerous. So, you know what, if crime puts the cameras in here, and you know, crime's gonna give people warnings. They're gonna be warnings. They're gonna be like, I'm sure that there's a step process. Hey, you got, you know, this many times to get in trouble. Once you get in trouble this many times, we gotta let you go, or we gotta make you take a safety course. You know, whatever the case may be. I'm down for that. Like, do it. You get the violations. They got it on camera. It's a violation. They can see if you're really doing it or not. So you get what you get. Hands-free in vehicles 100%. Yeah, and that's how, dude, my pickup truck, my little pickup over here, you just hook the phone up, the cord up to it, and you drive down the road, and if you get a text message, then it'll say, like, I can't remember exactly what it says, text message, listen or ignore, and you just say listen, and it'll read it to you, and then it'll ask you it'll say, do you want to reply? And you can say no or yes. You say yes, you can tell it what your reply is, and then it'll read your reply back to you, and then you'll say send it, and it'll send it. So I mean, like, even my pickup truck does that. Like, you know, I don't think that's bad. You're just using your words. You're still checking your mirrors and stuff. You're still using your words. If I got a phone call coming, it'll tell me who's calling. It's kind of like the headsets. You can just tell the headsets. Most of the headsets, you can just say answer, and it's going to answer it, and you start talking about whatever you need to talk about. Greenwich says, looking forward to the cameras. Hopefully it will get rid of some bad drivers out here. See, even Greenwich is tired of it. Like, there is so many bad drivers out here because of the cell phones. It's bad. There was one guy that was so bad that I'm in the passenger seat. Like, I'm not driving, but he was so bad. Like, I wanted to just record what he was doing. And then as we passed him, like, I could record, like, hey, that's him. And you would see that he was on his phone. You could see him on his phone in the mirror. I was all like, hey, be careful on this truck we passed him. I said, he's not paying attention. And he was over the side of the road and back to the road. And I was like, pay attention to him. So we're going along. And, yeah, that's a 2025 truck. But he wasn't paying attention at all. Now, like, the reasons I would not video that and the reasons I would not make a video about that is because that's somebody's truck number on the side of it. That's somebody's company. You know, that's their livelihood. But shoot, like, I'm not trying to. And also, it would make it look like I'm just attacking another company. I said country. Another company. I'm not trying to attack another company. I'm like, hey man, like, that's your company, they're doing that. If it's a crime driver, sorry, I'm not going to video it, and I'm not going to put them on blast on social media, because I really don't think it's good to put people on blast on social media. If you're going to do anything, it's going to be like, oh dude, like, nah man, like, I just don't see it. I don't see any good out of it. And I've watched studies on, like, texting and driving and stuff like that, and watching your phone while you're driving and stuff like that, and it's actually worse. You're actually distracted longer than you would be if you were DWI. Like, people would drive better that are under the influence in a controlled environment. They took a study that I was watching, and they were driving better than the people texting and driving. Like, what? I'm not saying, do not drink and drive. That is really bad. Do not drive under the influence of anything that's going to hinder your abilities. Like, no. It's just craziness to me. Devin says, I understand that, but I don't like it. It's not up to... Dude, the camera's not going to bother you at all if you're not doing nothing wrong. The only people that's having major issue with the cameras are the people that are probably the ones that are texting and driving, the ones that are actually messing up out here. That is going to be who's having problems with the cameras. It's not going to be anybody that's not doing it. Like, I cannot text and drive. Like, I've never been able to text and drive. When we had the old Qualcomm and we were supposed to, so whenever I started, we had a keyboard Qualcomm and we were supposed to be able to message our dispatchers while we're driving, like tap out a message. Like, I was so thankful whenever Prime said, we're locking y'all out of this thing while the truck's moving, and you can't message your dispatcher while you're driving. It's the same as texting and driving. So whenever my trainer was all like, hey, you gotta message the dispatcher sometime while you're driving like that. Bro, like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm freaking gonna die over here. Like, I couldn't ever, even whenever cell phone, when I was younger, I did not text and drive. I can't do it. I'm not safe. Like, I can't do it. I know I can't do it because whenever I was younger, I tried to do it before, and I went off the side of the road a little bit, and I was like, whoa, put that down. I ain't ever doing that again. Whenever I was younger, whenever I was like probably 17 or 16, and I was like, oh, never doing that again because I'm not good at it. Like, I had friends that I would ride with sometimes, and they're good at it. Like, they're driving down the road, and I'm all like, I don't know how you do that, but that is not safe, dude. Like, stop doing that. I would give them crap over it all the time. I'd be like, hey man, put that down. Stop doing that, man. You're gonna kill us. You know, I can't. Greenwich says, not like when I started, only had a newspaper to read while driving. Kids' newspapers are how I used to get our news. I can see the old truck drivers, they're driving down the road, got their cup of coffee over here on the windowsill and this big newspaper. And I'm over here driving, holding up this big newspaper or folding it over, or reading it while they're driving down the road. I don't know. I don't think they were doing that, but you never know. I wasn't around for that. But Mike says, I'm 38, but I very much got my news, comics, and TV shows scheduled for Sunday's paper, also classified for jobs and stuff for sale. Dude, I didn't even think they really did the newspaper anymore, really, honestly. I haven't seen any newspapers in my neighborhood. Like, you know how the newspaper boy used to come throw newspapers out at your yard? I haven't seen a newspaper in no one's yard in a long time. I remember the Sunday's paper was like this thick, man. You could roll that thing up and do some damage with it. 10-6 Living says, Kansas just had a media campaign that it is not just texting and driving, it is looking at devices like all the newer cars with intermittent systems. Stop messing with them while you're driving. Yeah, the Sunday paper. I love the Sunday paper too. Yeah, dude, and it should be like that. Oh man, like, that's one of the things in my truck. I don't tell my students that this is a rule, but as soon as one of my students reaches for one of these things, I'm all like, don't you ever touch my stuff in my truck. I'm all like, you keep your hands on that wheel and you drive. Use your words. You have words, use them. And they'll look at me all crazy, but I don't even like for my students to like reach over and turn the AC up or down. I tell them, I'm all like, use your words. I want you 2 hands on this wheel. I want you paying attention to what's going on. I don't want you looking down here at the dash because that's how far it is. Like the windshield is right here. So if I'm looking down the road, I'm looking like this. I'm checking my mirrors like this. So that's the movement I should be seeing. I'm checking my gauges, looking in front of me, checking my mirrors, looking in front of me, checking my gauges, looking in front of me, checking my mirrors, looking in front of me. Why is it, how do they look over there at the AC, figure out which knob it is, reach over, and start messing with these knobs? You know, it has happened to me at least, I'd say probably at least 15 times that somebody reached down there for the AC knob and drove us onto the rumble strip. And like, I'm all like, dude, use your words. Use your words. Tell me if it's hot in here. Tell me if it's cold in here. Do not ever reach for my AC. Don't touch my AC. And I set the temperature to my student. Like, if I have a guy that likes it hot in here, I'll put it hot in here. I don't care what it is. Like, I'm from Texas. I'm used to that dry heat anyways. It's pretty much dry heat coming out of this AC. So if my students like it hot, be my guest. Turn it on hot. If my students like it freezing cold in here, I aim the vents up at the ceiling. It goes around my seat. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't mess with me. Don't touch my knobs. Use your words. Worse than that is when one reaches over there to the radio, touches my radio. Don't touch my radio at all. Like, that is mine. Like, don't touch it. Like, you tell me if it's too loud or you tell me if it's not loud enough. And if you got a problem with the radio and you want to listen to something else, we just turn it off, because guess what? That's a distraction. We're supposed to be focused on our driving. With the radio, I had so many problems with this radio whenever I first started training. Like, I had one guy, he was all like, so with the radios, I used to have the what's it called, Sirius radio. So I had this guy, and he was driving, and he wanted to listen to the station on there. It had some foreign music on there. I don't care. I listen to all types of music. Like, I like listening to music, having music. So he wanted to listen to some foreign station. I was cool with it. I didn't say nothing. Well, he's driving, and my wife calls me, and I'm all like, click on my headset, and I'm like talking to her, and I'm in the passenger seat, and you can hear the music, and I'm talking to her, and he reaches over there and turns the volume up, and she's all like, hey, I can barely hear you. I reach over there and I turn it down. I say, hey, bro, I'm talking to my wife right now, man. Just drive the truck. And it was whenever I was over the road, so like, if you got to talk to each other, it was like a blessing. Like, you know, she was busy doing everything that I couldn't do because I wasn't home, and like, I was over the road. So like, he turns the volume up. I turn it down. He's all like, this is my song. You don't understand. And I said, I'm talking to my wife. So I get on my Sirius app, my Sirius phone, on my phone, and I go to that Sirius app, and or the website, and I stop payment on that thing. Boom, kills it. Just advertisements. Because there's I was like, I want it dead now. Like, I'll pay for the full month, but kill it. Like, kill it. So boom, it went off. He's like, yo, what happened to radio? I said, bro, I turned it off. I said, we don't play that, man. Like, you don't turn up the volume when somebody's on the phone and just make it where they can't hear nothing. How would you feel if your wife called you and you were in that seat over there and I was driving and your wife called and she was talking to you and I turned the music up where you couldn't hear her? He's like, I don't have a wife. I said, I wonder why. Well, we got through, he trifected, he did good, and he got off my truck, but I'd never paid for Sirius again. So then I went a long time without listening to radio. Then I had another guy on my truck, and I started slowly bringing radio back in. And this other guy, I just hit the scan button. Like, at first, I was like, the day we left, I was all like, what station do you want to hear? He was all like, I said, what kind of music do you want to listen to? He said, country. I put it on some country. We're driving down the road. We get out of the signal, staticky. I hit scan. You know, whatever it landed on, I didn't care. It landed on some rock music. He was good with that. We get out of signal again. I hit scan. It landed on some pop station. He's like, I don't listen to that. I'm all like, what? He's all like, yeah, I'm not listening to that. I'm all like, okay, I hit the scan. There wasn't nothing else really picking up, so I put it back on it. And he reaches over there and he turns the volume off. And I was all like, oh, that's what we're doing? Okay. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So we're driving. We keep driving. A couple hours go by. We're definitely out of the signal for that radio station. He reaches over there, turns the volume up in his scan, and I was all like, no. I turned that radio off. I said, we ain't listening to no radio. So we ain't listening to no radio. I turned it off, and we continued on our way. And we went and did our loads, worked our way back, no radio the whole time, and I'm fine with that. I don't care. Like, shoot, I'll put on my trucker headset. I'll listen to whatever I want to listen to. Like, you're not hurting me. It's only on one ear. I can still hear you. I'm not having it too loud. So we're on our way back over here, and he's all like, hey, what you listening to? I said, just some talk guy. I was like, he's talking about getting your life together financially. And he's all like, oh. And he's all like, well, I don't see why I can't listen to whatever I wanted, and you listen to whatever you want on yours. And I was all like, no. We chose not to listen to radio in here. We're not listening to radio in here. So we get back to the terminal. First thing he does is go in there and complains. They pull us into this office, and they're like, you know, yada, 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 the radio, blah, 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 blah. And I was all like, listen, the radio's a distraction. I turned it off. It's a distraction. The safety department says it's a distraction. It's a distraction. So I turned it off. We're not having no radio. And then I didn't have the radio on again for years. And that guy ended up passing his test too, but man, he was a pain. Like, I couldn't, like, he drove me nuts for reals. Riz says, guys like him won't survive long in trucking. I just don't understand it. Like, I don't know, man. That radio's an issue. Like, a lot of times I'd rather just leave it off. I'm like, I don't even want to hear it. Every once in a while I'll get a student that's like, hey man, I don't want to bother you, but you know, I think I'd get more comfortable behind this wheel if I had something like some music or something going on, because I'm driving myself nuts talking to myself in the head. So, you know, I'll be like, all right, bro. And then sometimes I got the guys that are really nervous, and I'm all like, let me just put on like a little bit of background noise, you know. But I just don't get it. Like, some people will mess up stuff for everybody. There's been a lot of stuff I have changed about, like, what I do out here because people messed it up. Like, man, I used to, everybody that passed their test, I would take them out to eat. I'd buy them a meal. I'd say, man, order whatever you want. Order whatever you want. It's your day. You want lobster? Order that. You want a steak? Order that. Man, like, it's your day, man. You passed. Like, go for it. Let's go wild with it. Then some guys showed up late. Like, I'm not talking just a little bit late. Like, I'm texting them, I'll be there in a minute. I order appetizers. I order my meal, and then they would show up, like, whenever I was pretty much done. So I'd be like, hey, order your food, man. I said, I'm not staying, though. I said, I've been here a long time. I'm not staying. I got stuff to do. I got to go do laundry, whatever. I'm not staying. So I'd just pay for their meal, and I'd leave. Like, I'd be like, cool. That happened a couple times. I had one guy finish eating, and then he was all like, you know, you were a shitty trainer because you didn't even teach me nothing. I taught myself. I'm all like, what? You taught yourself? I said, okay. Like, I'm all like, dang, dude. I was all like, well, you could have told me that before dinner. Like, I take you to dinner, and then you want to, after I pay, you want to be like that? Okay. Don't ever call me again. Like, you know, like, and it just got worse and worse. And one guy I took out to, he was actually the guy that had the radio issue, the first guy I talked about, that he kept turning the volume up while I was on the phone with my wife, that I didn't get to talk too much. So, same guy, took him out for dinner. What did he do? He ordered 2 meals, and I said, you gonna eat 2 meals? And he's like, nah, I'm gonna get a meal to eat now, and I got one for the next day. And I said, no. I said, that's not how it works. I said, go ahead and order 2 meals. Go ahead and order 2 meals. I'm fine with you getting 2 meals. If you want to try 2 different things, get 2 different things. But whatever we don't eat here today, what we don't eat here today goes in the trash. Like, well, I'm not paying for 2 meals. I said, I told you I'd buy you 1 meal after your test. Like, hey, not 2 meals. Like, you're taking advantage. So, pretty much after a bunch of that stuff, I got to the point where I was just like, then some guys, if I feel good about you, like if I feel like you're a good person, then like it's great taking you out to eat. But if I feel like, man, after this dinner, I don't ever have to see this dude again, and I really don't want to go to this dinner, but I promised this dude I'd take him out, I don't do that no more. Like, there's been one driver that I refused to take a trifecta picture with. Like, I was like, no, I'm not taking a trifecta picture with you. Like, and that's because, man, like, the dude was something else. Like, I'm not doing it. When we used to do the trifecta pictures, like, if I feel like you're a good human being, and I'm not even talking about somebody that struggled out here on their backing and driving and stuff. If you struggled on your backing and your driving stuff, and I kept fighting with you and kept working with you and kept pushing you, guess what? That's not going to dictate to me if you're a good person or a bad person. You're not a bad person because you didn't learn it fast. Most of the guys that struggle really bad out here, they struggle really bad out here, those are like the guys that I'm all like, man, I like this dude. Like, he's a good person. You know? So me, it's more of like, hey, do I get along with this dude or not? Like, if I get along with you and I like you, man, I'm like, I'll talk to you. Like, anything you need, you call me. If I usually tell people after they test, like the people that I really feel like is a good person, I tell them, hey, if you got any problems on TNT, I'm all like, give me a call. Like, call me, let me talk to you. If it's something that's just you, if you're the problem in it, then I'm just gonna be like, hey, bro, hey, just brush off your shoulders, chill out, man. You're getting a lot of miles, like, you know, you're in your feelings, calm down. I say, take it as what it is. Now, if it's something serious problem, like there's a major issue on that truck that needs to be addressed, I'm gonna be like, okay, here's who we need to call. This is who we need to talk to. This is what we need to do. Let's get this resolved. But if it's something small, and like I say, get ready, because I'm going to tell you what I really feel about the situation. Like, you're going to take it. So I tell them, hey, you got problems, call me. And I'll tell them, hey, man, next time you're in town, come out here to the pad and see me, bro. Like, next time you're here, come see me. But the guys that I feel like, man, this dude is, like, he's not a good person. Like, he's not somebody I jive with. Then I'm just like, I take them up there, here, this is how we do our paperwork, or sometimes I just, hey, take your stuff up there to the desk, you know, get hired on, you know, congratulations later. You know, I'm not expecting to talk to that person ever again. Like, one, I believe that you are what you hang out with, so if I feel like somebody's a bad person, I'm not trying to hang out with you. If I feel like you're a good, honest person and like a good human being, then I want you around me, because that's going to make me better. That's going to make, I should be able to make you better. We should feed off of each other. If you put a lot of good people together, then it's going to help each other out. So if I feel like you're a bad person, then, hey, I'm not messing with you no more. I don't need you in my life. It's kind of like my house. The only people that's been to my house and had dinner with my family, or like I brought my family around, has been people that I've felt like were amazing, trustworthy people. So if you've been to dinner with me, then, hey, I trust you fully. Like, take Greenwich, for example. Greenwich has been to my house. Greenwich, we have went out several times for dinner. I have brought my wife, my kids around them, everybody around them. Like, that is somebody in my life that I feel like is a amazing person. That is a good human being. River Rich has been to my house. He's been around my family. That's another person that's just an amazing person. That's a great person that's in my like family, and like, hey, you're a good person. You can be around my family. No Hippie Transportation, Kiersey. I'm just naming off some people that I know, like off the top of the bat. Sam Avocado, you would be another one. I know we haven't had dinner with my family, but you would be another person that I would trust to come meet my family. And I've had students at my house and dinner with students in my family. Or actually, they were already drivers by then. They were drivers that had their own truck and been running their own freight, but they came to town, and I'm like, hey, let's go out to have dinner with the family. Like, cool. Or come over to my house. My wife's making dinner tonight. Come and eat. You know, I do not. Anyone that I don't feel is a good person will never be at my house. I will never bring you around my kids if I feel like you're a bad person. I will never bring you around my family if I feel like you're a bad person, because I don't need those influences in their life. Makes sense? So, somebody said this a while back. I heard somebody say this. They said, I surround myself with greatness so I can be great. Like, surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with greatness. I had something going because I have... What's your training question, Devin? Go ahead and just put it in there, bro. Greenwich Trucking says, I let Sam meet my family, but not drive my truck. Greenwich. Well, that's great, because I haven't even met Greenwich's family yet. Sam, you would have one up on me. That's because I'm not in Greenwich's home state. I'm sure if I was in home state, he'd let me meet his family. Hopefully. But there's been a lot of people that I let around my family that, like, I was all like, man, y'all are some good people. Real good people. Pegleg's another one. Pegleg's been around my family. Like, Pegleg is welcome around my family. He's a good person. He's a good dude. Now, a lot of people don't understand Pegleg's sense of humor and stuff like that. Like, I get Pegleg. He's a cool dude. At the end of the day, surround yourself with people that are going to be uplifting and that are going to be supportive of you, and you can be a supporter of them. You don't want to just take from these people. You want to give back to them. You want to give back to them. You want to help each other, bring each other up. That's kind of what it's about. Devin says, does Prime Train already experience for a different type if they want to go reefer to flatbed? Yes. So even if you say you came to Prime and you were a flatbed driver, or vice versa, we'll say that you hauled grain, or whatever, and you were all like, man, I want to come out here to Prime, but I want to do flatbed because I want to be more active. I want to work more. Like, hey, you come out here, you tell them, hey, I want to be flatbed. They will put you in that division. You will be trained in that division, and you will work it. Then say 10 years down the road or 2 years down the road, you're all like, man, I want to try a different division. I'm tired of flatbed. Boom. You can transfer to tanker. Transfer over to tanker. Go try tanker out, or transfer over to reefer. Do that for a little while. Transfer to the next one. So yeah, you're perfectly fine there. With tanker, they like you to live in a certain area that gets more of the freight there. So like some of the divisions kind of are like, where do you live? Intermobile's another one that I think is more of, where do you live? Like, do you live in Chicago? Do you live in California? Do you live in Tennessee? Do you live in, you know, it just depends where you're at for the intermodal division, because you want to be around like a port or a railroad or something like that. You know, tanker, you want to be in certain areas for tanker too. So yeah, they will let you switch divisions. We do intermodal, flatbed, reefer, tanker, and we have the grain, and we have, if you count the stuff I do, we have dry van, because I do dry van most of it. For probably, I think I've been doing it for 4 years. I think I've been doing the dry van stuff. I've been doing eco shred loads of tires that needed to be recycled and stuff. So I've been doing dry van trailers. Which that reefer unit, as soon as you turn that thing off, it's now a dry van. Just saying. But yeah, we do all that stuff. Yeah, we train people with no experience to experience to, you have so much experience, you get into your own truck and don't have to be trained. Well guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off of here, probably hit up Greenwich and see what he's doing since he finished his laundry, see if he's probably just chilling out in his hotel room, probably in the hot tub in his suite or whatever, just drinking some champagne or something. You got the Cristal. Greenwich is enjoying his week off, I bet. But yeah, I'm out of here. Like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time.